Right, so I'd like to show you something slightly different. It's Fyfes Anatomy. It's in 3 volumes and it was published in 1807. And so this will give you an idea of what their ideas of the body, how they'd started to dissect the body and label everything, and gives you some very good illustrations of, at the time of the Napoleonic Wars, this is, what they knew about the makeup of the human body. So let's look at number 1, because they had very little ability to perform any dissections on humans. They would have done it during operations, but the only way they could do it in a total corpse would be when a dead criminal was executed, and then they would have ability to dissect the body after the execution. So there was very few bodies that could be used to dissect, and so that is why you've got this thing like Burke and Hare that dug up newly buried bodies and given them to surgeons for them to practice on. So you've got a compendium of the anatomy of the human body by Andrew Fyfe, volume 1, and it's from Edinburgh, 1807. So it's quite a large compendium. So this is gentlemen attending the medical classes in the University of Edinburgh. The following 3 volumes, meant to facilitate their progress in the study of anatomy, are dedicated. And then you got that. And then you got what's in there of bones. So you've got all the different parts, volume 1 of bones. Then part 2 of muscles. Then part 3 of the bursa mucus, of the ligaments of other parts of the joints. And so you've got quite a lot of information. Part 1 of the bones. Bones in general, bones are the most hard, compact and inflexible parts of the body. They are more or less of a white or red colour according to proportions of earth or blood entering their composition, and are therefore whitest in the adult and reddest in the child, more earth being found in the former and more blood in the latter. In living animals they are of a bluish colour. In consequence, the blood containing in their small vessels appear through their surfaces. So that's an idea. And then we'll go through and have a look at some of so they've got quite a lot of information there about these things. We've got different kinds of motion. You can stop and read those if you wish. And then we can see, let's have a look at some of the illustrations they've got. So there's loads and loads of information containing to about the bones and muscles. And then near the end, I believe, on this one, there's a few. So look at this one, yeah. So let's have a look at this one. So you've got the muscles of the face. Very well drawn. And then it's a table. Again, there's very good pictures of the muscles. That's quite a good one. A male skeleton with all the muscles there. So you can see that by the 1807s, 200 odd years ago, they had quite a good idea of the makeup of the body and how it all went together. Hands, all the muscles of the hands and the arms. Again, very well drawn. Muscles in the legs. Again, some more muscles in the legs. That's the first volume. Volume number 2. Now this one is part 4 of the Versaria, the organs and senses. And again, it tells you about the organs of the senses. It's quite well made up. And again, we'll have another look at some of the pictures that go in here. So here we've got the picture of the brain. Quite a good detail for people who've got no x-rays and things. They would have just been cutting these bodies up to get an idea of what it was like. Eye, let's see if I can remember the eye. There you got the picture of the eyeball with the muscles. The eye socket. So this gives you an idea of how much about the body they had. Here we've got the ear. It's quite good. I just about remember a little bit about the ear and the hammer and anvil, is it? That it's bones in there, and I do that, remember that properly. Also we've got in here the thorax. It's this one. Of the stomach. Intestines. And again, more of the stomach, how everything sits. And this is about the bladder, I believe. Looks like it's a bladder or something like that. So these are very well drawn. So they must have had somebody that's very good at, I think that's to do with women, because then again you've got the baby coming out of the sac there. So they had quite a good idea of what happens in these things. And some more pictures of the arteries and things like that. Then we look at number 3. And this is the blood vessels. The absorbent system of the nerves. So we'll look at some of these illustrations of what they thought about the blood vessels. So here we've got a pull-out one. Look at that, that's nice, isn't it? Complete. From the, I can get this up. So that gives you a full idea of what the insides of a person is, with all the main, and they've got the different ones, the one's going to the heart and coming from the heart. They've got the 2 split up. So that's a lovely little thingy there. see if there's any more. There might be another one there. Other nerves. Let's have a look at see if we've got any of the nerves. It's mainly of the brain, I think that one is. The base of the brain. And here we've got the backbone and all the nerves coming off the backbone. So they had a very good idea of what was happening in the body, even in this early period. And we've got all the nerves going down into the arms. So it had gone away from the medieval idea that the body is all to do with the 4 elements, was it? The black bile and was it phlegm or something? And so it's much more scientific in its way of looking at the body and of the human condition. And then it's got glossary and then index at the back. So I hope that was of some interest to people, because it just gives you an idea that the people of this period had still got a very good idea of how the body worked, even though they had very few bodies to work on. It does show you that they had ideas about the skeleton, about the blood vessels going around, and other areas like the ear and the nose and eyes and things like that. Okay, I hope that was of some interest to people, just an idea of how the science of anatomy had changed by 1807. So this is over 220 odd years ago, and it gives you an idea of their view of the body. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.